running around and causing all sorts of mayhem and destruction, as Evie was witness to. I also grew up in Repertory Philippines, and that's where I did my very first professional play, Pippin, with Cocoy in the lead role, and Christy P and Iwi and Stella were also in the cast, and Tita Celia designed our set and our costumes. That production of Pippin, the Repertory Philippines, is turning 45 years old this coming November. So yes, Cocoy, I'm very, very lucky to have spent so much time with you. I remember you holding my hand in the wings backstage in Meralco Theater for every show when I was waiting to go on to sing my song about my dying duck. I was all of 7 years old when we did Pippin, and I wasn't nervous at all to sing my big solo song in front of hundreds of people with full orchestra, no lapel microphones yet, and I blame that on the innocent courage of childhood. And Cocoy knew I wasn't afraid. You knew I wasn't afraid, but you held my hand anyway. But there was one show in particular when I was nervous for you. You were in rough vocal shape, you were fighting off a cough and a cold, and you weren't sure if you could hit your notes for the rest of the show. And for that one particular show, I held your hand. And I remember silently giving you all the strength and all the courage that I could as we waited for our cue in the wings. And that's when I realized what our dearest Tita Bibot was always saying about how we should always be generous to our fellow actors. For all those times you held my hand, Cocoy, I cannot thank you enough. But I will be forever thankful for that one show when I held your hand, because I have carried that one moment from that one show all these years. That one show has led me holding other people's hands backstage, giving them energy, giving them assurance, encouragement, or just the silent comfort of knowing someone was there rooting for them. You were always the perfect example of a generous actor, but that one show gave me the opportunity to actually be a generous actor to you. And hopefully that has also led to me being a generous human being, like you. I remember as a young man in my 20s, exploring my numerous passions, pursuing my interest in music and art, and so curious about what it meant to be an artist. With my long hair and my cowboy boots and my black leather pants, and I'd come by and hang out in your house in Shaw. You know, I'd go to your room, I'd watch you paint, and I'd ask you all these questions. I remember your room smelling of turpentine and oil paints and late nights and burning creativity. You were doing incredibly beautiful and dreamy and almost sacred portraits. And I remember asking you what you thought about the age-old belief that said that a portrait captures a portion of the subject's soul. I remember you paused at that moment, and you turned around and you looked at me with your kindest eyes, and you smiled at me and you said, you know, Jamie boy. He called me Jamie boy, no matter how old I was. Jamie boy, I think that each time I put my brush to the canvas, I'm putting some of my own heart and my own soul into who I'm painting. Whenever I paint, I can have all my colors ready, my palette and my brush in my hand, and I still don't know what will happen when I start. I have an idea in my head, and my heart hopefully knows what to do, and I know that God will guide my hand. I remember that so clearly, and that's when I realized that art was all about surrender, giving more of yourself than asked, and more importantly, art was an act of faith. So once again, I learned something from you that I carry with me, and I will carry with me for the rest of my days. I remember years and years and years later when my mom was on her deathbed, and you all came over to say goodbye to her. You brought your acoustic guitar, and knowing how much Mommy loved Edith Piaf, you sang her such a beautiful Tagalog version of La Vie en Rose. Every ounce of your gentle heart poured out through that song. And having been drowning in darkness that whole week, it was at that moment I knew that I was going to be okay. Thank you for being the kindest and gentlest and most decent man I've ever known and loved. Thank you for always taking the time to take a genuine interest in whatever I was doing, and in your own way, helping me and guiding me to be a better person than I thought I was. Thank you for holding my hand, for your sympathetic ear, and for your gigantic and generous heart. Thank you for all the love you gave me, my Goldie, and my family. Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. You've got to be where your spirit can run free, and dearest Cocoy, you have found your corner of the sky. We love you.
Thank you, Jamie. That was very, very well said. Before we will have a video presentation of Tito Cocoy's, one of his best friends who is away at the moment. So in between, we have Jimwell Victorino. He worked many, many times with Tito Cocoy. They sang together, and they most recently had a performance for Jimwell's grandfather. And he would like to honor Tito Cocoy with a song before the video and then afterwards. They have the same maestra in UST, maestra Inigas, no? Yes, so they have the same teachers. They shared very many special moments.
Needs a chance to make your life is through, but we'll keep it close as always. It won't be you.